The Indian oil and gas industry plays an important role in the Indian economy with major refineries and gas companies in the country. Oil and natural gas together make petroleum. According to the Oil and Gas Journal, India had 5.5 billion barrels of proved oil reserves at the end of 2012. About 53% of reserves are from onshore resources, while 47% are offshore reserves. Most reserves are found in the western part of India, particularly western offshore, Gujarat and Rajasthan. India's relatively small resource endowment and its offshore location require greater upstream technical expertise to fully exploit its potential. Petroleum, which is Latin for rock oil, is a fossil fuel, meaning it was made naturally from decaying prehistoric plant and animal remains. It is a mixture of hundreds of different hydrocarbon molecules containing hydrogen and carbon that exist sometimes as a liquid, that is crude oil, and sometimes as a vapor, that's natural gas. In this chapter, we will study about the following aspects of petroleum sector in India: petroleum genesis, petroleum refining, natural gas, recent trends and future prospects in petroleum and natural gas sector. Oil and natural gas were formed from the remains of prehistoric plants and animals. That's why they are called fossil fuels. Hundreds of millions of years ago, prehistoric plant and animal remains settled into the seas along with sand, silt and rocks. As the rocks and silt settled, layer upon layer piled up in rivers along coastlines and on the sea bottom, trapping the organic material. Without air, the organic layers could not rot away. Over time, increasing pressure and temperature changed the mud, sand and silt into rock, known as source rock, and slowly cooked the organic matter into petroleum. Petroleum is held inside the rock formation, similar to how a sponge holds water. Over millions of years, the oil and gas that formed in the source rock deep within the earth moved upward through tiny connected pore spaces in the rocks. Some seeped out at the earth's surface, but most of the petroleum hydrocarbons were trapped by non-porous rocks or other barriers. These underground traps of oil and gas are called reservoirs. Reservoirs are not underground lakes of oil. They are made up of porous and permeable rocks that can hold significant amounts of oil and gas within their pore spaces. Some reservoirs are hundreds of feet below the surface, while others are thousands of feet underground. The fundamental goal of petroleum exploration is to identify areas with the right geologic conditions which are known to be capable of creating an accumulation of petroleum. Economically viable resources can only be discovered via drilling operations in such target areas. Exploration work program can be split into these broad phases. Initial exploration. Identify a region with the potential to host a petroleum accumulation. Prospect delineation. Analyze existing data or obtain further information to define any prospective targets. Exploration drilling operations. Drill an exploratory well in the hope of encountering petroleum. Discovery appraisal. Appraise all discovery and well data to determine if a discovery is economically viable. Under an exploration permit, there are certain kinds of scientific studies that can be undertaken, including literature reviews, data analysis and computer modeling, laboratory experiments, seismic surveys, gravity and magnetic surveys, and the drilling of exploratory wells. Three factors affect the amount of oil or gas that can be recovered from a known reservoir: rock properties, technology, and economics. While the industry cannot change the properties of the rock, it can develop new techniques to remove more oil from the rock. The oil and natural gas that power our homes, transportation, and businesses are found in small spaces called pores between layers of rock deep within the earth. Many offshore wells, for example, are drilled in thousands of feet of water and penetrate tens of thousands of feet into the sediments below the seafloor. Natural gas is usually found near petroleum. Oil is then transported to refineries and distilled into fuel or base chemical products. Natural gas is pumped from below ground and travels in pipelines. Petroleum reservoirs are generally classified according to their geologic structure and their production drive mechanism. Petroleum reservoirs exist in many different sizes and shapes of geologic structures. It is usually convenient to classify the reservoirs according to the conditions of their formation as follows. 1. Dome-shaped and anticline reservoirs. These reservoirs are formed by the folding of the rock layers. 2. Faulted reservoirs. These reservoirs are formed by shearing and offsetting of the strata, that is faulting. 3. Salt dome reservoirs. This type of reservoir structure, which takes the shape of a dome, was formed due to the upward movement of large impermeable salt dome that deformed and lifted the overlying layers of rock. 4. Unconformities. This type of reservoir structure was formed as a result of an unconformity where the impermeable cap rock was laid down across the cut-off surfaces of the lower beds. 5. Lenses type reservoirs. In this type of reservoir, the petroleum bearing porous formation is sealed by the surrounding non-porous formation. 6. Combination reservoirs. In this case, combinations of folding, faulting, abrupt changes in porosity or other conditions that creates the trap from this common type of reservoir. Petroleum production is the overall term given to the process of extracting a hydrocarbon reserve from an economically viable subsurface discovery. Before mining takes place, operators will usually have done both prospecting and exploration in the area to accurately delineate the petroleum field. Production can be split into these broad steps. Estimate the production life of the field, design production facilities, commercial production. Following the preparation stage of field development, that is, setting the production strategy, determining the locations of the wells in the field and designing the well completions, the drilling related activities begin. The drilling program is first designed. Then, plans are prepared and executed to acquire the required equipment and materials. The drilling sites in the field are then prepared for the equipment and materials to be moved in, and the drilling operations begin. Depending on the organization of activities within the oil company, drilling engineers may only be responsible for drilling and casing of the well, and production engineers will be responsible for completion of the well. Alternatively, drilling engineers may be responsible for drilling and completion of the wells. The drilling program consists of three main stages: drilling the hole to the target depth, setting the various casings, cementing the casing. Petroleum refineries are large, capital-intensive, continuous flow manufacturing facilities. They transform crude oils into finished, refined products, most notably LPG, gasoline, jet fuel, diesel fuel, petrochemical feedstocks, home heating oil, fuel oil and asphalt by 1. Separating crude oils into different fractions, each with a unique boiling range and carbon number distribution, and then 2. Processing these fractions into finished products through a sequence of physical and chemical transformations. Crude oil is a multi-component mixture consisting of more than 10 compounds. Petroleum refining refers to the separation as well as reactive processes to yield various valuable products. Therefore, a key issue in the petroleum refining is to deal with multi-component feed streams and multi-component product streams. Usually in chemical plants, we encounter streams not possessing more than 10 components, which is not the case in petroleum refining. Therefore, characterizations of both crude, intermediate product and final product streams is very important to understand the processing operations effectively. Primary crude oil cuts in a typical refinery include gases, light or heavy naphtha, kerosene, light gas oil, heavy gas oil and residue. From these intermediate refinery product streams, several final product streams such as fuel gas, liquefied petroleum gas that is LPG, gasoline, jet fuel, kerosene, auto diesel, lubricants, bunker oil, asphalt and coke are obtained. The entire refinery technology involves careful manipulation of various feed properties, using both chemical and physical changes. Conceptually, a process refinery can be viewed upon as a combination of both physical and chemical processes or unit operations and unit processes respectively. Typically, the dominant physical process in a refinery is the distillation process that enables the removal of lighter components from the heavier components. Other chemical processes such as alkylation and isomerization are equally important in the refinery engineering, as these processes enable the reactive transformation of various functional groups to desired functional groups in the product streams. Fundamentally, crude oil consists of 84 to 87 weight percentage carbon, 11 to 14 percentage hydrogen, 0 to 3 weight percentage sulfur, 0 to 2 weight percentage oxygen, 0 to 0.6 weight percent nitrogen, and metals ranging from 0 to 100 parts per million. Understanding thoroughly the fundamentals of crude chemistry is very important in various refining processes. The existence of compounds with various functional groups and their dominance or reduction in various refinery products is what is essentially targeted in various chemical and physical processes in the refinery. Based on chemical analysis and existence of various functional groups, refinery crude can be broadly categorized into following categories, summarized as paraffins, olefins, naphthenes, aromatics, naphthalines, oxygen containing compounds, resins, asphaltenes. The first essential task for the crude oil consisting of more than 10 compounds is to separate its major components based on boiling point differences. This principle is exploited in the crude distillation unit, which involves energy intensive operation. Since crude distillation involves the processing of the entire feed, it remains as the most significant operation in a refinery. The petroleum refinery consists of the following important sub-processes: crude desalter, furnace, pre-flash column, crude distillation column supplemented with side columns. These columns produce the desired products. Pump around heat exchanger units, heat exchanger network that facilitates energy recovery from hot product and reflux streams to heat the crude oil. Natural gas is principally methane, CH4, with some ethane, C2H6, and propane, C3H8, and impurities such as CO2, H2S, and N2. Natural gas is a versatile fossil fuel that we use for heating, cooking, electricity production and transportation, and as an industrial feedstock. Natural gas comprises 9% of India's primary energy consumption at present, and it will be 14% of energy mix by 2010. Demand for natural gas is also likely to increase at an annual growth rate of 7.3%. Despite significant environmental concerns associated with its extraction and production, natural gas burns more cleanly than coal and oil and therefore offers advantages in reducing global warming emissions and improving public health. Like oil, natural gas is a product of decomposed organic matter, typically from ancient marine microorganisms deposited over the past 550 million years. This organic material mixed with mud, silt and sand on the seafloor, becoming gradually buried over time. Sealed off in an oxygen-free environment and exposed to increasing amounts of heat and pressure, the organic matter underwent a thermal breakdown process that converted it into hydrocarbons. The lightest of these hydrocarbons exist in the gaseous state under normal conditions and are known collectively as natural gas. In its pure form, natural gas is a colorless, odorless gas composed primarily of methane. Methane, the simplest and lightest hydrocarbon, is a highly flammable compound consisting of a carbon atom surrounded by 4 hydrogen atoms. Chemical formula CH4. After natural gas forms, it will tend to rise towards the surface through pore spaces in the rock, because of its low density compared to the surrounding rock. Most of the natural gas deposits we find today occur where the gas happened to migrate into a highly porous and permeable rock underneath an impervious cap rock layer, thus becoming trapped before it could reach the surface and escape into the atmosphere. Natural gas production has increased from 32.202 BCM in 2005-2006 to 40.679 BCM in 2012-2013. Conventional natural gas deposits are commonly found in association with oil reservoirs, with the gas either mixed with the oil or buoyantly floating on top. Natural gas can be located with seismic methods similar to those used for petroleum exploration. Gas prospectors set off an explosion on the surface to generate seismic waves in the underlying rock. By measuring the travel times of these waves through the earth at acoustic receivers known as geophones, geophysicists can construct a picture of the subsurface structure and identify likely gas deposits. To extract the gas, vertical wells are drilled to penetrate the overlying impermeable cap rock and reach the reservoir. Natural buoyancy then brings the gas to the surface, where it can be processed and sent to homes and industry. Natural gas comes in four basic forms. Liquefied natural gas (LNG). Natural gas which has been liquefied at -160°C. Natural gas is liquefied to facilitate transportation in large volumes in cryogenic tankers across the sea. Regasified liquefied natural gas (RLNG). LNG regasified before transporting it to consumers through pipelines. Compressed natural gas (CNG). Natural gas compressed to a pressure of 200 to 250 kg per centimeter squared, used as fuel for transportation. CNG decreases vehicular pollution on the virtue of being cleaner fuel than liquid fuels. Piped natural gas (PNG). Natural gas distributed through a pipeline network that has safety valves to maintain the pressure, assuring safe, uninterrupted supply to the domestic sector for cooking and heating or cooling application. India has 1074 BCM of natural gas reserves. This includes 287 BCM of natural gas from onshore and 787 BCM offshore. In terms of gross production, the figures stand at 32,849 MCM. Of this, 8,763 MCM of natural gas is produced onshore and 24,086 MCM offshore. However, the net production of natural gas during 2008-9 was 31,770 MCM. The main producers of natural gas are Oil and Natural Gas Corporation Limited (ONGC), Oil India Limited (OIL), JVs of Tapti, Panna Mukta and Rava, and Reliance Industries Limited (RIL), which has discovered gas in the Krishna Godavari basin at its KG D6 block in the east coast of Andhra Pradesh. Out of the total domestic production of 132.83 MMSCMD of gas, about 43% is produced by Reliance Industries Limited as of December 2009, and approximately 57% of the gas is produced by others. The public sector, OIL and ONGC, produces 92% of the gas from offshore and 69% from onshore gas reserves. The JVC or private sector produces only 8% in the offshore and 31% from onshore. The areas which are high in natural gas availability in India are mostly the western offshore area. However, the other major production areas for natural gas are the onshore fields in Assam, Andhra Pradesh and Gujarat states. Natural gas is comparatively lesser amount is also produced in the states of Tripura, Tamil Nadu and Rajasthan states. The usage of natural gas in India and particularly in the states of Assam and Gujarat has been going on since the 60s. The major breakthrough in the field of availability and usage of natural gas in India came with the development of the Bombay High fields in 70s and again in the late 80s when the South Basin field in the western offshore started the production of natural gas. The major usage of natural gas in India is in the form of liquefied petroleum gas and in petrochemical industry. The actual practice of processing natural gas to pipeline dry gas quality levels can be quite complex, but usually involves 4 main processes to remove the various impurities: oil and condensate removal, water removal, separation of natural gas liquids, and sulfur and carbon dioxide removal. Transporting natural gas thousands of miles through pipelines is the safest method of transportation. The transportation system for natural gas consists of a complex network of pipelines designed to quickly and efficiently transport natural gas from its origin to areas of high natural gas demand. Natural gas is a versatile, clean burning and efficient fuel that sees use in a wide variety of applications today. Generation of electricity by utilities as fuel for base load power plants in combined cycle or cogeneration power plants. Fertilizer industry as feedstock in the production of ammonia and urea. Industrial as an under-boiler fuel for raising steam as fuel in furnaces and heating applications. Domestic and commercial for heating of spaces and water for cooking. Automotive as a non-polluting fuel. Petrochemicals as the raw material from which a variety of chemical products, example methanol, are derived. As the Indian economy grows, so does its appetite for energy. The majority of the energy India will use in the coming decade is expected to come from hydrocarbons, and the government remains determined to boost the supply of domestically produced oil and gas. However, with the country's expanding economy comes an increasing demand for energy, and if current trends continue, India will be the world's third largest energy consumer by 2020. Nearly half of the country's energy comes from oil and gas, and government is eager to boost domestic oil and gas supplies to feed the growing economy. Several factors suggest the Indian oil and gas sector may be poised for major expansion in the coming years. Currently, the country produces around 15,000 barrels of oil a day from proven reserves totaling 15 billion barrels of oil equivalent (BBOE) and almost 6 billion barrels of oil. Existing production rates suggest India will exhaust its proven reserves within the next 25 years, giving the government yet another reason to encourage more domestic exploration. The domestic oil and gas sector holds an enormous amount of potential. Continued high oil prices mean that India is increasingly committed to reducing import costs by growing its domestic supply. At the same time, the country holds vast potential for exploration. Barely 22% of the country's sedimentary basins have been explored, and a series of large deep water blocks remain essentially untouched. Additionally, although the government has awarded 247 total blocks over the last 13 years, only 16 of the blocks have been developed. India's oil and gas potential was last evaluated some 20 years back when 15 sedimentary basins were studied. That estimation put oil and gas resource potential at a fraction of the 206 billion barrels of oil and oil equivalent gas assessed by the International Energy Agency last year. Now the government is reassessing India's potential of hydrocarbon resources and refresh the 2-decade-old estimate of oil and gas reserves. Estimation will be done for the resources of all 3.14 million square kilometers of the 26 sedimentary basins of India. Major hydrocarbon trap types in Dhansiri Valley, Assam and Assam-Arakan Basin, India. Dhansiri Valley is the southern part of Assam Shelf, which is a commercial hydrocarbon producing area. The hydrocarbon bearing reservoirs are fractured basement, Precambrian, and sandstone ranging in age from Paleocene to Miocene. The detailed analysis of major hydrocarbon producing structures indicates there are 3 types of hydrocarbon entrapment pattern in Dhansiri Valley. These are faulted horst and graben structure, inverted normal fault and compressed normal fault. The Indian oil and gas industry plays an important role in the Indian economy with major refineries and gas companies in the country. Indian oil and gas sector is primarily controlled by State-owned Oil and Natural Gas Corporation (ONGC), which accounts for approximately 60% of India's crude oil output. The Indian oil industry consumption was around 3.57 MN barrels per day in 2012 compared to around 3.27 MN barrels per day in 2011 and is expected to reach 4.20 MN barrels per day by 2017. Indian natural gas consumption was approximately 69.1 billion cubic meter during 2011. It is expected to grow to 160 BCM by 2022. India imports 23% of total gas needs from Iran, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Myanmar, Qatar and has spent $8,405 million on imports in 2011. India is the world's fifth biggest energy consumer and continues to grow rapidly. Major natural gas discoveries by a number of domestic companies hold significant medium to long-term potential. Demand for petroleum products, increase in demand for oil and gas, high exploration portfolio. Liquefied natural gas (LNG) imports are still set to grow rapidly over the longer term as domestic consumption expands. India has freed gasoline retail price controls, untapped domestic oil and gas potential, strong domestic energy demand growth, high recovery rates from existing projects. The oil and gas sector is dominated by state-controlled enterprises, although the government has taken steps in recent years to deregulate the industry and encourage greater foreign participation. Increase in oil prices, inadequate and slowly developing infrastructure, lack of awareness in safety issues, environmental issues. Increased competition within government and private players, continuing government interference, changes in national energy policies. To bridge the rising demand-supply gap, reduce import dependency and make ourselves resilient to the external factors, economic and political disruptions in the sourcing nations, international crude oil prices, the government has initiated several policy and regulatory measures. New Exploration License Policy (NELP). To increase domestic exploration and production, the government introduced NELP. By 2012, the government plans to move towards an open acreage licensing policy (OALP), wherein oil and gas acreage will be available around the year instead of cyclical bidding rounds launched under NELP. Coal bed methane policy. To stimulate the exploration and production of coal bed methane in the country, the government introduced the coal bed methane policy. Till date, 33 blocks have been offered in 4 rounds of bidding. Underground coal gasification. The pilot production of underground coal gasification would commence by the end of 2015. Gas hydrate is at the research and development stage. During the year 2008, India signed an agreement with Russia under the Integrated Long-Term Program of Cooperation to jointly conduct research and development for technology required to harness gas hydrates. Shale gas. By the year 2012, the government plans to announce the shale gas policy. There is an obvious interest in exploring for shale gas domestically, given the enormous success in the US. The government has been encouraging acquisition of overseas E&P assets. 100% FDI is permitted in exploration, refining, pipelines and marketing. Although the government has initiated several policy and regulatory measures to ensure energy security and enhance domestic production, a large number of issues remain which require significant attention and policy reforms.